moderator. And Alhamdulillah, very good morning to all participants. And we're going to discuss on coaching communication style, but I guess maybe it's familiar to some of you or maybe not. Yeah, where we're going to talk about coaching and communication at the same time. Yeah. So what is coaching communication style basically? The coaching communication style is a non-directive. It's not directive. It's specifically for non-directive approach where this relational emphasizes on collaborations, empowerment, emotional intelligence in various contexts, including in workplace environments. So you can apply this approach or this style of communications. So this communication style is characterized by its focus on facilitating self-discovery, enhancing motivation, as well as fostering a growth mindset among individuals that being coached. So in our daily conversation, in our daily communications, there are parts in the communication that we can grow people or we can grow ourselves at the same time. So unlike traditional directive approaches, coaching communication prioritizes dialogues and active listening, allowing the coaches or your clients, your students, your employees to explore their thoughts and feelings while receiving or constructive feedbacks. So this essence in coaching communications lies in fostering supportive environment that encourages open dialogue, active listening, and reflective feedbacks. These three elements will be discussed in my presentations. So this is essential for personal as well as professional growth for us as well as for our students in our academic settings, inshallah. Okay, this is a framework of directive and non-directive coaching, where in directive coaching, normally we give instructions, giving advice, we offer guidance, giving feedbacks. And this directive coaching is normally pushing or we are driving someone's problem for them. Compared to non-directive, we are pulling. We are not pushing them, but somehow we are pulling them, helping someone to solve their own problems. All right. So it started with summarizing question that raise awareness, summarizing, paraphrasing, reflecting, and understand their situations. Right. Okay. In the coaching spectrum, as we can see, from directive to non-directive, so it starts directive, telling, instructing, giving advice. So normally this is what we do in tutoring. Right? And mentoring is giving advice, offering guidance, giving feedback, making suggestions. But how does this non-directive start in coaching? By asking questions, summarizing, paraphrasing, reflecting, and listen to understand. Okay? Right. Again, comparison to make it clear, directive and non-directive. In our academic setting, as a teacher, as a lecturer, for instance, or between our colleagues, are you solving a teacher's problem for them, or are we helping a teacher to solve their own problems? Right? So if you're practicing directive coaching or directive coaching communication style, normally we make suggestions. We give suggestions, we give feedbacks, we offer guidance, we give advice, and at the same time we instruct them to what to do. Compared to the non-directive, normally we ask questions to raise their awareness, summarizing what they say, paraphrasing their words, guiding reflections, and most important part is listen to understand rather than listen to prepare our answers. Right? So basically, what is communication styles after we look at the coaching, directive and non-directive coaching? So in coaching, communication style in workplace is one that emphasizes assisting others in finding their own answers rather than we give their instructions or we give their answers. So asking insightful questions that disapprove presumptions, pique interest and promote introspection is part of it. So it also includes listening with empathy and attentiveness without interjecting, without any judgment, and enforcing our own viewpoints. So last but not least, entails giving prompt, precise feedbacks that identifies areas for development to the coachee. An academic setting, for instance, where most of us are, coaching communication styles serve as powerful tool for enhancing communication with the students, fostering collaboration, as well as improving their overall performance, right? So in communication, normally we heard about effective communications as the best effective Yes, effective is the best communication skills in our workplace normally or in our daily routine conversations. But looking at the coaching communication, it is characterized by its focus on empowerment and motivations. So coaches utilize specific techniques such as motivational interviewing or MI to encourage individuals to articulate their goals and aspirations. It's not about, it's beyond teaching. So coaching communication focuses on developing specific skills and behaviors through a collaborative relationship between employer and employee, the coach and the coachee, or lecturers and the students, or the colleagues between two partners. So this method emphasizes active listening, open-ended questioning, and reflective feedbacks, which are crucial for fostering a supportive environment where your coachee will feel safe to explore their own thoughts and their own feelings, and look to the effective communication, where effective com skills are more general and include the ability to convey information clearly and concisely, listen actively, and engage in meaningful dialogue. Yes, it is meaningful dialogue depending on your content, but in this context, the focus is on clarity, empathy, and the ability to convey complex information in an understandable manner, which differs from the more personalized and developmental focus of coaching communications. So effective com is not solely about the content of messages, but also about the context of the relationship among the team members, right? Okay. Okay, looking forward to the Shannon-Weaver model of communication. So this is a basic transactional model of communication where we are the sender and the receiver. We have the message and the content, and we encode and decode, including the noise, as well as choosing the platform of the channel of communications. But looking at the framework or the role model coaching, for instance, there are many other several frameworks, but somehow this is the most popular model that we use in coaching, the basic model, where this is introduced by Sir John Whitmore. The model is widely used in coaching contexts to facilitate structured and conversation aimed at achieving specific goals. So as we can see, the GROW acronyms stands for G for goal, R for reality, options for O, and W is for will or way forward. So this representing 4 stages of the coaching process where we could imply in communication style. So this model emphasizes a collaborative dialogue between the coach and the coachee, allowing for a clear pathway to personal and professional development. Okay, so how do we practice this GROW model? So a structured framework for this GROW model is effective for coaching conversation as well as problem solving. So in goal setting, we define the specific, measurable, and time-bound objective you want to achieve, the coachee want to achieve. And this step establishes the directions and the purpose of having the conversations. And R, we go to the second level is the reality check. So we examine the current situation objectively, including the challenges, the resources that they have, and circumstances that may impact their goal objective. And thirdly is options exploration, where we need to do brainstorm in terms of the possible strategies and solutions, and by considering different approaches and their potential outcomes. So it depends on the capacity and the capability of the students itself. And way forward is develop on action plan with specific steps, timelines, and commitments to move toward the established goal that is prepared by the coachee itself. So these GROW models basically provides a systematic approach to coaching that helps both coachee and coachee to maintain the focus and achieve the desired goals or outcomes effectively. So there are many other models that you can practice. For instance, you have GROW model, solution focus, and also the SMART models. This is also a common model to practice. Okay, so why this coaching communication style is important in workplace? So one of the primary benefits of coaching in workplace communication is the ability to foster a supportive environment, because we encourage open dialogue and more collaborations. And research by Han et al. Indicates that the effectiveness of coaching is not solely dependent on specific techniques, but rather on the quality of the relationship between the coach and the coachee, and often referred to as the working alliance. And this relationship is crucial for creating a safe space for employees, for our coachee, for our students, they feel comfortable to express their thoughts and their concerns. And similarly, Rosha and Lace also emphasize that general factors such as coach's personality and the expectation of the coachee significantly influence the helpfulness of coaching interactions. So you may need not to coach all of your students, but you may need to see the chemistry, the trust, the bonds that created between you and your students. So by establishing this rapport and trust, coaches can facilitate more meaningful conversations that lead to constructive feedbacks as well as leads to their personal development, right? So to understand this coaching communication style is essential to effective leadership, employee or students development, where we focus in guiding and supporting these individuals to achieve their full potential. And this style emphasizes on open communication and active listening, again, as well as the constructive feedback. So a key aspect of this coaching style, communication style, is to create a safe and supportive environment. And remember to build trust, foster a positive culture to empower and individuals to take ownership of their own development. So among of the importance of coaching communication styles, it could enhance employee or students engagement, where coaching communication empowers the students, fostering a positive environment. If you coach them, they can also coach their friends in promoting engagement. Improve performance. This cannot be this is very important as well, where regular coaching sessions encouraged. It could be planned or unplanned sessions. So the students can continuously learn and develop their skills, leading to improve their academic performance. Stronger relationship between the coaching in coaching communication also build trust and strengthens the relationship between manager, employers, lecturer, and students, where we can create a more collaborative environment, and it also leads to increased productivity, where through open communication and guidance, employer or students feel supported and they feel empowered, and they will take initiative by boosting the overall productivity. Okay, let's see on how or when to teach, mentor, or coach. As lecturers, we always sometimes you confuse. Are we teaching? Are we mentoring? Or are we doing coaching? So normally in teaching is what and how. So basically, how do you help them to grow? By helping them to grow and showing them the way or giving them the answers, right? Mentoring is when sharing experience or leads to growth. We give tips, we suggest ideas, somehow we share our experiences. So everything is based on our experiences. But coaching is when finding the answers is within a key. So we really listen to their goals, objective, or their problems, or their what they want to achieve, by asking questions and help them to look inside themselves. Okay, not finding answers for them, right? So as we can see in this diagram, teaching, mentoring, and coaching. So in teaching, we ask directive questions, we provide informations, we seek specific answers, and we often highly structured and based on past learning, right? And mentoring, we answer direct questions, provide information sources, we provide them with the details, seek alternative answers, and structured based on past experience also. But in coaching, we ask open questions, we enable the coachee to do self-discovery, we dispel false feelings and benefits, can be applied in any situation, but the most important part, we are future focused. So in between teaching and coaching, tailored to individuals' needs. So we need to understand each and everyone or personally, right? Compared to mentoring and coaching, normally we tailor more to their roles needs. And teaching, mentoring, coaching, between three of these elements, our aim is the same, that we share same common ground, that is aim to educate. Between teaching and mentoring, we focus on skills, process, and informations, right? Okay, now what is or how to coaching communication, how do we use, or what are the techniques? First, more important part is active listening. So this is the most critical components of coaching communication, where we need to listen actively, be mindful, mindful listening, where this involves fully concentrating on what the employee or student is saying, by understanding their message, responding thoughtfully, and remembering the key points for future discussion, for us to paraphrase, to confirm on our own understanding. Do we understand clearly? So active listening helps build trust and rapport, which are essential for effective coaching relationships. And additionally, active listening emphasizing with verbal and non-verbal cues are also important. It's not only verbally, not only based on their verbal, on their answers, but by observing their non-verbal cues at the same time. By demonstrating genuine interest and understanding, employees or lecturers can create a safe space for employees to express their thoughts and feelings. Okay, the second technique is open-ended questions. In open-ended question, we utilize in our conversation. This encourages the students to think critically and articulate their thoughts more fully. This technique promotes deeper conversation, allows employees to explore their own feelings and their own ideas. And for instance, instead of asking, "Did you complete your project yet?" or a coach might ask, "What challenges did you face while completing your project?" for instance, right? So this approach not only fosters engagement, but also helps the students to reflect on their experiences and identify what can be improved, what should they do to do it better. And rather than using closed-ended questions that start with who, when, where, or do, we opt for open-ended questions that start with what, how, or why. And additionally, probing questions that dig deeper into the issue are better than leading questions that imply the answers. So reflective questions that help them clarify their own thinking are more beneficial than rhetorical questions that make statements that could assist them or lead them to the way forward. Okay, this is an example or exercise that we could do. All right. So the second, in terms of creating or structuring the questions. All right. In coaching, we call it as it's not question, but it's more to dynamic inquiries. Right. So normally, how do we ask questions in terms of goals? So normally we ask, are you sure this is really what you want? For instance, yeah. Or why can't you decide on the goal yet? For instance, this is a normal conversations. So in coaching, how do we ask these kinds of questions? So with dynamic inquiries question, we can ask, what would success look like for you by the end of the project, for instance? Or how will achieving this goal align with your long-term aspirations? This would make them think on their own goals and come up with new ideas. Yeah? And secondly, on reality, or understanding the current context, to make them think about what do they have in hands, or how does their position or their status in a current situations. So normally we ask, why haven't you made more progress by now? It's been week 13, for instance, in terms of the assignments or projects. Or do you even understand what holdings you back? So how do we ask these kind of questions? We can ask them, what have you tried so far, and what are the results that you get? And what challenges are you currently facing that may affect your progress? This will create their aha moment. This is the second step in terms of the reality. Okay, next is options. Normally we ask, isn't it obvious what you should do, right? You know what to do already, right? So this dismisses the coach's ability to explore options, basically. Or why don't you do just what I do? Alright, this shift focus away from the coach's autonomy, because we are expecting the way how we do things. In dynamic coaching questions, we can ask them, what are some possible strategies you could use to move forward? Let them think of the options that they have, or what could support you in overcoming these challenges. Then they would think outside of the box. It's not the normal kind of answers or strategies. And lastly, way forward in terms of action planning. Normally we ask, are you going to mess this up again, based on our expectation, based on our forecasting, for instance, we knew. So this question is demotivating and harsh by right. Or we ask them, you'll probably forget to follow through, won't you? Why don't you come for consultation, for instance, where this assumes failure and undermines the confidence of the students. And we can transform the question into dynamic inquiries, such as, what specific steps will you take to achieve your goal, and by when? So then we can have their commitments, or what can you do tomorrow to begin making progress? Then they will start thinking about things they need to do, action need to be taken, and as well as their commitments. Okay, tips for the right way to ask questions through coaching or dynamic inquiries, right? So make sure we ask one question at a time, right? It's easier for us to assess the ideas or assess more understanding for us as well, rather than bundles of questions and ask at once. We ask for the benefit of the person or the coachee, rather than we ask to satisfy our own curiosity. Then we can ask for more understanding later. Believe you are an equal thinking partner. Believe rather than we believe ourselves to have better answers for them. They have better answers. They know themselves better than us. Intentionally crafted or randomly fired. Right? Or mix use different question type rather than repeatedly use the same type of questions. Then we need to analyze the different personality of the coachee. Right? And thirdly is the constructive feedbacks. So how do we give constructive feedbacks? It involves delivering feedback that is specific, actionable, and focus on behavior rather than their personal attributes. It's their behavior rather than their personal attributes. So constructive feedback helps the students to understand their strengths and areas for development to facilitate their growth. Where research indicates that quality communication, including feedbacks, positively impacts the coach-employee relationship, enhances the overall satisfaction. For example, a leader or lecturer could say, I noticed you handled the group project well, but next time, why don't you try to involve the team more in the discussion, for instance, right? The feedback should be specific, focusing on observable behaviors and actions. But how do they involve their team is up to them on the strategies. So deliver feedback properly to maximize its impact and relevance. Focus more on the improvement rather than offering suggestions for positive changes. So make feedbacks actionable by providing clear steps or strategy for improvement. And lastly is the goal setting and action planning. So by establishing clear, achievable goals is a fundamental aspect in coaching communications. Leaders, managers, lecturers, head departments, colleagues, we should work with employees, we work with our colleagues, set specific objectives and develop action plans to achieve them. Where this collaborative approach is not only clarifies expectation but also empower all the employees or the students to take ownership of their own self-development. So for example, a manager lecturer might say, let's outline the steps that you need to take to improve your presentation skills next month. All right, we collaborate, but somehow the idea of how is the individual task. So a comprehensive study by Thomson revealed that employees who participate in structured goal setting and action planning are 42% more likely to achieve their objective. And the process includes three key checkpoints. First, an initial goal setting, a session to establish objective or to create the goals that the action plan, the bi-weekly progress and challenges, and adjust the strategies monthly by monthly milestone or celebrations to recognize the achievement. This systematic approach has been shown to increase employee engagement by 38% and improve performance outcomes by 45% according to the recent workplace studies, right? And lastly is to encourage self-reflections. So encouraging employee or students to engage in their own self-reflection can enhance their self-awareness and promote personal growth, right? So where leaders or educators can facilitate this process by asking reflective questions that prompt the employees or the students to consider their experiences, their feelings and responses to various situations. Somehow they don't have time to think about their own feelings or their experiences. They don't know how to assess it. And this technique helps employees or students to identify their own strengths and areas for improvement where it leads to more effective performance. And for instance, a leader might ask, what did you learn from this project that you apply for your future tasks? Okay. Besides the verbal, we also consider or we also highlight on the non-verbal communications. Observe the open posture of the body language, because the open posture like the arms, the uncrossed and relaxed, it demonstrates openness and willingness to listen. If the students or the employee cross their arms, so how do we open it? So how do we make them open to open posture? So eye contact is also important. Observe their eye contact and maintain their eye contact to show that our engagement with them and attentiveness, but avoid staring. All right. Active listening, yes, by nodding your head, for instance, or by you are leaning in or mirroring the other person's body language, or you shows you are paying attention. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, that's nice. For instance, so that shows that you are listening. And through gestures, use appropriate hand gestures to emphasize points and keep the conversations lively and avoid excessive movement. Okay, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's two excessive movements, right? Okay. So overall, the coaching communication techniques involve a collaborative process, facilitative roles. It leads to growth mindset as well as through open communication. It creates a psychologically safe environment through active listening and also feedbacks. Okay, so in order for us to practice, we always remember this 5 or 4 steps. First, active listening. We pay close attention, clarify the questions, and understand their perspective, not based on our own understanding. With empathy, try to see things from the other person's viewpoint, not based on our worldview. They might have different perspective or different worldview. Recognize, acknowledge their emotions. We use questions that cannot be answered with simply yes or no. Try to avoid close-ended questions. Encourage reflection and deeper thinking. Feedback and support. We provide constructive feedback. We recognize both strengths and areas for improvement and offer encouragement and support to help them progress. We guide the person to reflect on your experiences. Experiences are very crucial, but how do we use their experiences as part of their learning process and help them identify the strengths and areas for improvement? Strategy options. By implementing these strategies, leaders or managers or lecturers, we can foster a supportive environment that promotes and enhances performance, contributes to a positive organization culture or in our classroom setting, right? Okay, based on this table, we can see, all right, again, the differences in terms of thought, statement or action by different approach, mentoring, consulting, therapy and coaching. So in terms of thought process, in mentoring, so normally In thought, they would say my experience is and I know how. So in our thoughts, yeah. Consulting, I am an expert. This is what you are paying me to tell you. So based on our own experience. Therapy, okay, I will help you heal from the cause. So basically in coaching, how can I support your learning? Where would you like to go from here? So this should be our thought. Yeah? In terms of statement, how do we construct the statement? Normally in mentoring, this is how I would do it. Right? In consulting, this is how to do it because we show them, right? This is how you should do it. Therapy, tell me about your past and what was it you went through because you want to know, because you want to heal, yeah, experience from the past. In terms of coaching, normally we ask, what have you tried? How has that served or deserved you? What else is possible? So depending on the growth framework just now, right? So action, in terms of mentoring, normally we guide and advise. Consulting, we direct, we give them methods with techniques and informations. Therapy, we probe, we psychoanalyze with deep reflection, and we come to terms. Yeah? But in coaching, we explore, we experiment, we learn new ways of working, thinking, doing, and personally, and it is professionally. Yeah? Get the professional coach or doing it professionally, right? Okay, now we move on to the Islamic perspective on coaching communication styles. So looking at this coaching communication style from Islamic perspective emphasizes on the importance of the ethical interactions, mutual aspect, and the development of individuals in a manner consistent with Islamic teachings. This approach is rooted in the principles of Islam, which advocate for compassion, understanding, and pursuit of the knowledge, right? So guidance and support, Islam also emphasizes guidance and support for individuals' growth. Yes, we need to improve on daily basis. Today is better tomorrow is better than today. And respect and empathy. So respect and empathy are crucial in interpersonal interactions and as well as collaborative approach. Coaching aligns with Islamic principle of teamwork and collaborations and also for continuous learning, where Islam encourages seeking knowledge and self-improvement, right? So, in terms of Quranic verses, Quran Islam or Quranic verses in Quran emphasizes the significance of intention in all actions, including communications as well. So in Surah Al-Baqarah, for instance, it stated, Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it cannot bear. So these verses underscores that the importance of understanding and empathy in communications. We need to know the capacity and capability of the students of our coaching, for instance, which is essential in coaching context. So coaches are encouraged to approach their coaches with compassion and understanding, ensuring that their guidance is tailored to the individual's capacity and circumstances. It's not what we expect or not based on our own standard. So this aligns with the prophetic tradition where Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, said that the best of people are those who are most beneficial to others. And this hadith also highlights the essence of coaching as a means of benefiting others through effective communication and support. Right? And moreover, in the concept of da'wah, of course, we cannot run away or cannot avoid from da'wah, where you invite others to the path of righteousness, is integral to coaching communication as well. Yeah, so da'wah is not merely about conveying information only, but it also involves a compassionate and respectful approach to guide others. So I mentioned in Surah An-Nahl, invite to the way of your Lord with wisdom and good instruction. So this emphasizes the importance of using wisdom and kindness in communication, which is crucial for effective coaching communications. Where coaches are thus encouraged to embody these qualities, fostering an environment where coaches feel valued, safe, and understood. Okay, and this is also the communication style, if you can take from our Prophet Muhammad, of course, peace upon him, exemplifies key aspects of effective coaching, particularly in the areas of asking questions and providing the constructive feedbacks, where his approach reflects a deep understanding of human nature and a commitment to guide individuals towards personal and spiritual growth. So one notable example of the Prophet's coaching communication is his questioning to facilitate learning and self-reflection. So when a companion would seek his guidance, the Prophet would often respond with a series of thoughtful questions rather than providing a direct answer, a generic answer. So this approach encouraged the individual to engage in introspection and arrive at their own conclusions rather than simply accepting the directions. For instance, as narrated by Anas in Sahih Bukhari, a man asked the Prophet about the hour, i.e. the judgment, by saying, when will the hour be? The Prophet said, what have you prepared for it? Okay, so this slide is questioning or prompted the man to reflect on his own action and preparedness rather than simply receiving a generic answer. right? So what are the benefits of using this style, of this coaching communication style? So by adopting this coaching communication style enhances interactions, whether in working or in educational settings. It fosters a supportive environment that promotes growth and understanding. This approach is particularly effective in tailoring communication style for working or learning and addressing the unique needs of the employee of or the students. Then you can understand better individually. All right. Employee or students engagement, where coaching helps employee valued and supported. They feel valued. All right. It encourages them to take ownership of their work and strive for their own growth, their self-development. Improve performance, of course, by providing guidance and feedbacks. Coaching empowers the employees or students to identify areas for improvement to enhance their skills. Enhanced communication is also fosters open and honest communication between two parties and create a safe space for any kinds of dialogues and feedbacks, because we got no judgment on them. And positive work environment, coaching promotes a culture of collaboration and support, contributing to a more positive and productive working and learning environment. Okay. So the conclusion and the key takeaways for today's presentation is coaching communication style is effective and is also powerful tool for building a positive work environment, and is applicable in any settings. So when coaching is implemented effectively, employees or students, they feel empowered and valued, leading to improved job and study satisfaction, as well as motivation that would lead to their performance. So by focusing on clear communication, active listening, constructive feedback, we can foster a culture of growth and development. And by developing our coaching skills, our lecturers apply these techniques to guide our team towards achieving our goals. Right? And Lee J. Collin has said, mentor and coach others whenever you can, and your teaching will deepen your own learning. As well as, another one. Okay, this one is by Tariq Ramadan. Quotes from him: a true teacher doesn't teach you to think like him, but a true teacher teaches you to think without him. Okay, therefore, thank you very much. That's all for my presentation. So I open the floor for any questions.
Thank you very much, Madam. MashaAllah. So this is the Q&A session. If anyone have question or want to ask directly, you can raise up your hand. Madam, look like it connected with the psychology just now.
Sorry?
The communication and
yes, of course.
psychology.
Yes. Because we need to understand people for us to have that effective communication. So by understanding people, then we can communicate better, so that we can understand them better.
MashaAllah.
Yes, because all of us
look like one subject.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Abu Bakar. Cherno. Okay, please can you make short briefing about teaching versus mentoring and coaching? Okay, I'll share back okay, the diagram that I shared just now, teaching, coaching, and mentoring. Okay, this is easy to understand, right? Okay, so normally we can observe ourselves. So what normally we do in class, whether we help them to grow by showing the way or by giving the answers, that is teaching, right? So basically, we provide them with answers. Or any question, we ask them question, and later we provide them with answers. And mentoring, we provide the answers as well, but somehow we are sharing our own experience, okay, based on what we have gone through. So we suggest ideas based on what we do and based on our experience. But coaching, you need to construct the question based on the capacity of the students. Then you need to assess the students. If the students have the potential, if the students are open enough, you need to see the willingness of the students in terms of learning. If they want to grow, they are willing to grow, that means they are willing to learn, right? So you start asking open-ended questions and you analyze their answer. Based on their answer, you can know their level or their structure of thinking. So it enables then you can construct the suitable question for the students. You can apply this in any situation. You do not has it's not necessarily for us to have a specific session. In working place, yes, maybe between head department and lecturers, you can have a proper coaching session. But with students, you can have it anywhere, depending on their willingness. If you see the answers, they are ready to talk in-depth discussion, then you can tailor the question according to the students, right? So it depends on the response given to the students. Therefore, you also need to have the skills or the knowledge in terms what kind of question that leads to coaching questions. If the answer is not leading to any in-depth discussion, then you cannot come up with the dynamic inquiries because the student is not at the standard. They are not prepared themselves to have the deeper understanding or deeper questioning or answering or deeper discussions. All right. So it depends on the situation, or you need to observe and identify the student's situation at the same time. Right. You need to build the rapport, create the trust between you and the students. Then only you can have an open-ended questions. Because somehow it's hard for the students to open themselves, right? So especially in class lah. Okay, I also face the same issue. But somehow by applying this coaching technique, especially outside the class, within our lunch with them, for instance, or during society's activities or exercise, this is how we explore them. When you identify the students and you explore their potential, you know that they have that potential, but somehow they are not aware of what inside of them, right? Their own potential, and we are trying to declutter their mind by right. Okay, they have that. Anything that we want, they have that in mind by right, but somehow they don't know how to declutter their mind, right? So it's the process of coaching. That is one question at a time. Okay, so in teaching, normally we did not allow for them to have their own answers because everything is structured, and we provide the information so that they answer based on our own standards. Yes, in final exam, of course, they need to answer based on our own schema, but somehow in having a coaching conversation, it's not a formal discussion or conversations, but somehow it can be done anywhere. All right, maybe while you are walking with them or you are having a meeting with them. So based on their learning process, along through their learning process, when they come to see you for consultations, and that is where you analyze them, you identify, and you start asking questions and how far they can go. Maybe by using the grow model just now, maybe you can just start by asking goal questions about the goal, about their goals or their objective, or what do they want to do basically in the future. You start with that question and you can listen to their answers. That is why active listening. By assessing their answer, you can know whether you can continue with OA, ROW. If not, you have to settle on G first. Sometimes for these students, you start with G questions first, goal question, for at least 1 month or at least 3 sessions. Then only after the 3 sessions, that only you can continue or proceed with R questions. It depends on their maturity, it depends on their brain development, and it depends on their exposure as well, right? There's no one template for coaching session. So it depends on the response and the feedbacks from the coachee, for your student, from your students, or from your employers. All right? I hope that helps. Okay. Does it allow kids to step?
Yeah, doctor, you can choose to.
Okay, but somehow it's the ethical as well. You need to practice the ethical coaching techniques as well. Yeah. Okay. A great deal for this lecture. Analysis it means both teaching metric. Yes, at some point it's connected, of course. Any approaches, it is we complement each other. Teaching, training, mentoring. What else do we have? Training. therapy, counseling. Yes, we are complementing each other. Yeah, for certain therapies, they also do coaching, but depending on the levels of the coachee lah, the status of the coachee. For students, yes, before you start your coaching process with your student, you may need to do a little bit of counseling first. It depends. It depends. If the student need counseling, you need to erase the maybe certain part of their experiences, bad experiences. Right? Maybe they need to deal with past experiences first, then only they can focus on their future. Yes, it's very important too. Yes, you can complement each other. It is interconnected. Yes, all approaches. We are not condemning any other approaches, but somehow in teaching, in lecturing, yes, we can practice coaching at the same time. While doing coaching, you can give them trainings. While monitoring them or while mentoring them, you can also train them. So it's complementing each other. No worries. All right. So the more the student explore, the better.